Welcome, future chemists. Today, we are diving into a fundamental concept in G-main chemistry, ionization enthalpy. This property helps us understand how easily atoms gain or lose electrons, which is key to predicting their chemical behavior. We'll explore this topic across 4 levels: easy, medium, hard, and hardest, building your understanding step by step for competitive exams. Let's begin our journey into the world of atomic energy. Starting with the basics, let's understand what ionization enthalpy truly means and why it's so important. Ionization enthalpy, often denoted as IE, is the minimum energy needed to remove the most loosely held electron from a single, isolated gaseous atom in its ground state. Imagine an atom floating alone, not connected to anything else. The energy you'd need to supply to pluck off its outermost electron is its ionization enthalpy. Since you're putting energy in, it's an endothermic process. We define first ionization enthalpy, IE, for removing the first electron. The units are typically kilojoules per mole or electron volts per atom. This concept is crucial for understanding how atoms form positive ions, also known as cations. Two main factors at the easy level influence ionization enthalpy: atomic size and nuclear charge. As atomic size increases, the outermost electron is further from the nucleus, experiencing weaker attraction. This means less energy is needed to remove it, resulting in lower IE. Conversely, a higher nuclear charge, meaning more protons, pulls the electrons more strongly, requiring more energy to remove them, thus leading to higher IE. Generally, as you move across a period from left to right, IE increases because atomic size decreases and nuclear charge increases. Down a group, IE generally decreases due to increasing atomic size and the shielding effect of inner electrons. Now, let's test your basic understanding with these 3 practice questions. Take a moment to think about them. First, define first ionization enthalpy with a suitable chemical equation. Second, explain why ionization enthalpy generally decreases down a group. And third, which element among sodium, magnesium, and aluminium would have the highest first ionization enthalpy and why? You can pause the video here to work through them. Ready to go deeper? Let's explore the more nuanced aspects of ionization enthalpy, including successive removals and other influencing factors. When you remove one electron, the atom becomes a positive ion. Removing a second electron from this already positive ion requires even more energy. This is called the second ionization enthalpy, IE. Similarly, IE is for removing the third electron, and so on. It always holds true that IE is less than IE, which is less than IE, and so forth. This is because it becomes progressively harder to remove an electron from an increasingly positively charged ion, as the remaining electrons are held more tightly by the nucleus. Also, the shielding effect, where inner electrons repel outer electrons, reduces the effective nuclear charge. More inner shells mean greater shielding and thus lower IE. The penetration effect of orbitals also plays a significant role. Electrons in s orbitals penetrate closer to the nucleus than p, d, or f orbitals within the same shell. This means s electrons are more strongly attracted and harder to remove, leading to higher IE. Another key factor is the stability of half-filled and fully filled orbitals. Atoms with exactly half-filled or completely filled subshells, like nitrogens to p superscript 3 or neons to p, poses extra stability. Removing an electron from such a stable configuration requires a disproportionately high amount of energy, leading to higher than expected ionization enthalpies. These stability factors lead to some important anomalies in the general periodic trends. For instance, the first ionization enthalpy of boron is lower than beryllium. Beryllium has a stable 2s superscript 2 configuration, while boron has a 2p superscript 1 electron. Removing the less penetrating 2p electron from boron is easier than removing a 2s electron from stable beryllium. Similarly, nitrogen has a higher first ionization enthalpy than oxygen. Nitrogen has a stable half-filled 2p superscript 3 configuration. Oxygen, with 2p, has a paired electron in one of its p orbitals, which experiences interelectronic repulsion, making it slightly easier to remove than an electron from the stable half-filled configuration of nitrogen. Here are 5 practice questions to solidify your understanding at the medium level. Think about why the second ionization enthalpy is always greater than the first. Explain the shielding effect. Why is nitrogen's IE higher than oxygen's? Arrange C, N, O, F in increasing order of IE. And finally, which of Na, Mg, Ul will have the highest IE and why? Take your time to answer these. Now, let's tackle the challenging aspects, delving into more intricate exceptions and theoretical connections. The anomalies in ionization enthalpy trends, especially in period 2, are critical for G. While IE generally increases across a period, there are dips. For example, boron's IE is lower than beryllium's because removing a 2p electron from boron is easier than removing a more penetrating 2s electron from stable beryllium. Another significant dip occurs between nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen has a stable half-filled 2p superscript 3 configuration, requiring more energy to disrupt. Oxygen, with 2p, has a paired electron in one of its p orbitals, leading to repulsion, which makes that electron easier to remove compared to nitrogen's stable configuration. These detailed analyses are crucial for understanding the nuances. Beyond simple periodic trends, we observe variations down a group as well, particularly with heavier elements. While IE generally decreases down a group due to increasing size and shielding, elements in the D block and F block introduce complexities. For instance, the first ionization enthalpy of gallium is slightly higher than aluminium. This is attributed to the poor shielding effect of the d electrons present in gallium, which leads to an increased effective nuclear charge experienced by the outermost electrons, making them harder to remove. This is a manifestation of the d block contraction. Ionization enthalpy is directly linked to an element's metallic and non-metallic character. Elements with low ionization enthalpy readily lose electrons, forming positive ions. These are typically metals, exhibiting strong metallic or electropositive character. Their oxides tend to be basic. Conversely, elements with high ionization enthalpy hold their electrons tightly and do not easily form positive ions. These are generally nonmetals, exhibiting nonmetallic or electronegative character, and their oxides are typically acidic. Understanding these relationships allows us to predict an element's chemical behavior based on its IE. Time for some hard-level practice questions. Explain the IE anomaly between boron and beryllium. Account for the trend between nitrogen and oxygen. Why does gallium's IE not decrease as expected compared to aluminium? How does IE relate to metallic-non-metallic character? Arrange Na, Mg, Ul, C in increasing IE. Predict the IE order for K, Ca, Sc. And finally, if IE is much higher than IE, what can you infer about the element's valency? Good luck! Welcome to the hardest level. Here, we'll integrate ionization enthalpy with advanced concepts, competitive exam strategies, and real-world applications, pushing your understanding to an engineering and research level. Ionization enthalpy is a cornerstone in understanding electron behavior. Quantitatively, it's measured precisely using techniques like photoelectron spectroscopy, or PES, which directly determines the binding energies of electrons in different atomic orbitals. This allows us to experimentally verify the theoretical predictions about orbital energy levels. Furthermore, IE plays a critical role in the Born-Haber cycle, a thermochemical cycle used to calculate lattice enthalpy for ionic compounds. The energy required to ionize the metal atom is a significant input in this cycle, influencing the overall stability of the ionic crystal. A higher IE for the metal means more energy is needed to form the cation, which must be compensated by other energy terms for the compound to be stable. The periodicity in successive ionization enthalpies offers a powerful tool for predicting an element's most stable valency. A dramatic jump in IE occurs when an electron is removed from a stable, noble gas-like electron configuration. For instance, sodium has a very low IE, but its IE is exceptionally high because removing the second electron means breaking into the stable neon core. This sharp increase indicates that forming an Na ion is energetically favorable, but forming an Na superscript 2 ion is not. This pattern helps us pinpoint the common oxidation states and chemical behavior of elements. Additionally, for very heavy elements like gold, relativistic effects come into play. Electrons moving at speeds close to light experience an increase in mass, leading to a contraction of s and p orbitals. This contraction increases the effective nuclear charge, making these electrons harder to remove, thus increasing ionization enthalpy. This partially explains gold's inertness. Ionization enthalpy isn't just a theoretical concept. It has profound applications across chemistry and material science. In catalysis, understanding the ease of electron transfer, directly related to IE, is fundamental to designing efficient catalysts for various industrial processes. In semiconductor technology, the band gap, which dictates a material's electrical conductivity, is conceptually linked to the energy required to excite or remove electrons, mirroring ionization energy principles. Furthermore, IE is crucial for predicting the type of chemical bond an element will form. Elements with low IE and high electron affinity tend to form ionic bonds, readily transferring electrons. Conversely, elements with high IE and moderate electron affinity are more likely to share electrons, forming covalent bonds. This predictive power is invaluable in synthetic chemistry and material design. The legacy of understanding ionization enthalpy extends to predicting the reactivity of elements. Alkali metals, with their very low IE, are highly reactive, readily losing their single valence electron to participate in reactions. Conversely, noble gases, with their exceptionally high IE, are largely inert. This fundamental property underpins much of our understanding of chemical reactions and how elements interact. From designing new materials to understanding biological processes involving metal ions, ionization enthalpy provides a critical lens. Mastering this concept is essential for any aspiring chemist or engineer, offering insights into the very nature of matter and its transformations. Let's tackle the first 5 hardest level questions. How does PES determine IE? Explain IE's role in the Born-Haber cycle. Predict the group and stable ion for an element with given successive IEs. How do relativistic effects influence gold's IE? And discuss the relationship between IE and metallic character, with examples. Pause to solve these challenging problems. Here are the remaining 5 hardest level questions. Predict the IE order for K, Ca, Sc, T. Compare two elements based on their successive IEs to determine stable ion formation. Explain why oxygen's IE is lower than nitrogen's but its IE is higher. Discuss the IE and IE trends for halogens, F, Cl, Br, I. Finally, how can IE knowledge predict ionic versus covalent bond types? These questions require deep analysis and comprehensive understanding. And that wraps up our comprehensive journey through ionization enthalpy, from the basics to advanced competitive insights. We've covered definitions, trends, exceptions, and real-world applications. To continue your learning and explore more such topics, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting educational content and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Keep learning, keep exploring, and excel in your G-Main preparation. Thank you for joining us today.